All right, I'm on hole number 2 of the Gokasho Bay 9-hole cup. This is hole number 7 at the actual Gokasho Bay course. Gokasho Bay hole number 7. And I'm doing a shot on this hole right here. There's a bunch of different ways that you can go at this hole. You can bounce from back here in the back where the black is and try and go through, but you're not going to make it all the way through. You've got to bounce that's somewhere here in the middle, and then that bounce over, trying to kind of slide down that hill. There is a flat spot right here, and I've played this spot quite a bit. There is a flat spot right here where you can get your bounces up to the cup. You can play up close in this trough. I'm seeing some people play over here and try and bring it around to the cup. I want to play a shot that's right here. And this is one of those spots in Golf Clash where the hill, let's see, do they show, and even in this picture here, it doesn't do it enough justice on how steep this hill right here is how steep it is on the other side. And so when you're coming down the hill, you want to hit about midway down, and there's a spot. So this hill comes like this, where it's rolling down at the bottom, and then it comes up, and then it comes up to the top. And so if you're hitting above this line, you're involved in the arc, and so you can get trajectories that can throw you way off, where this is almost like doing a rough bump and you miss the rough and you hit the fairway, and it does that. It ends up, way back here. Or you could hit down at the bottom and you'll get the same kind of effect. You're just downhill and it'll jump forward and you'll end up back here. But there is a spot here in the middle that on this really steep hill, you can use this if you have a backspin club, and you can use this area like a rough bump, so that you're hitting in this area and then you're just rolling towards the cup. Now you'll get a little bit more hop than you would if you were doing an actual rough bump, because it's not a rough bump, but it flies pretty true. But there is a very narrow area. I'm going to start off with plus 10%, because I think like from where the tee box is down to the green is downhill. So I'm going to do a baseline 10%. And then I've got to watch where my marks are, where it's hitting. This is why it's important to record your own video and watch where it's hitting, so that I stay in this band. I want to be dead center in the middle of it. So if I'm going up against a headwind here, in let's say in the weekend round we get a headwind, I think we're going to have to make a bigger adjustment. So I mean, like adding on like maybe 20% and doing a total 30% adjustment. We'll have to see how that goes. But we've got to, this is a super tight band. Now, one of the things I did learn in my practice account was I came in and I did max backspin on a Guardian, but I didn't do any side spin whatsoever. And I had to pull the ball over in this direction right here in order to get the tail so that it was coming towards the cup. And the farther you get out here, you can see where this trap and this trap right here, then they flatten out, and you're starting to get over here to the point where just a little bit to the right, the ball's going off in this direction. And so I'm going to put on this ball, I'm going to use a 1 power ball. So I'm going to try out a Quasar because it's got more side spin. I don't know if I can get on more than one side spin with max backspin on a Guardian, but I want to put on as much right hand side spin to try and straighten this out so that I only have to go over a little bit in order to get it to the cup. That's the goal. Now let's go see if we can get this done. Is that a long-winded thing on a par 3? This is one of those par 3s that, in all honesty, and obviously there are people out there that would disagree with me, but this is one of those par 3s that there's going to be a lot of people that end up with a par here. A lot of people. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's going to be half the people that come here, but we're going to have, like, for the normal par 3 that's out there, this is going to be a really high percentage hole that eats people's lunch. Especially when you compare it versus hole-in-ones. So there's some holes that, you've got to take a really big risk to go for that hole-in-one, but if you succeed, you get a hole-in-one. This is one of those holes that you've got to take a big risk, and even if it succeeds, there's no guarantee. So I'm going to do max and as much side spin as I can get on. Just about 1 1/4. I'm going to get right down there so that I can see the spot You can see that there's a narrow little spot where the spin is taking effect. And that spin's not going to work. Only takes one. I could switch to a navigator, cut the wind down. There's 3-3. It's about 3-6. Ah, great to the right. Let's see where my bounce hit. This is important. Right there to slow it down. A rough bump in the fairway. There you go. I really think that is going to be, like, consistency wise, once you get it set up and once you figure out the adjustments that we need to make based off the wind. If you hit it perfect, I think you're going to have a serious shot every single time you come to this hole of getting a hole in one. And if you're making good adjustments, I think we still have a really good shot every single time of at least getting birdie. Where we can go wrong there is depending on the wind, especially if we're getting a crosswind where it's blowing us up or down the hill. If we're getting a tailwind or a headwind or a due sidewind, we can make adjustments easier. But when we get the sidewind there, where it's blowing us diagonally on that hill, if we hit it to the right, it could be higher up on the hill, and if we hit it to the left, it could be lower. But that kind of stuff right there, that is exactly what I'm talking about. I couldn't have paid this guy to demo that is exactly the type of shit that happens on this hole, because people are trying to figure out some way, and that's really, really narrow. But for my money, that might be the best way to go at it, because it's pretty straightforward. Once you get the wind down, we're going to have to make an adjustment from pretty much anywhere we're at out there. And I think on this, especially on this type of hole with all this movement, if we've got headwind, we're going to have to be serious about it. See if they can get in with Nirvana, and you can see that hill right there. Super steep. See if they can get in. Be quiet. The quiet signs are up. Perfect. Get in the hole. Get in. Come on. You can do it. Nice shot. Good luck in the tournament. That helped him out. All right, that was hole number 2 of Gokasho 9-hole cup. That's hole number 7 of Gokasho Bay. Thanks for watching.